Hey guys, how are you doing today? How do you ever wonder why people do what they do or why they say what they say? Or perhaps how you can get what you want. For those of you that don't know me, I am Shayna Melissa Stockman, the autoimmune expert. I empower mostly ladies to get and feel better when the doctors and meds didn't want or couldn't. I offer in-person and online classes, courses, workshops, book signings, and inspirational, motivational, transformational talks. Today we have a very special guest. He is coming here all the way from Hong Kong, Mr. Jesper Sandell. He is an expert at neurolinguistics, the founder of NeuroNarrative messaging process, and the creator of communication that sells. We can all use that. Mr. Jesper or Jesper, depending on what country, how you pronounce it, is a communication and brain based persuasion expert. He explores science behind effective communication and how humans actually make decisions. So you can communicate in ways that are easy for the audience to understand. We all need that. And your marketing will feel more natural, making it easy for the ideal clients to self identify that they need your services and goods rather than you pushing it on them. Now, Mr. Jesper or Jesper Sandell, depending on which country you're in, was born in Sweden. He's lived everywhere from LA to New York and is currently coming to us all the way from Japan, where it's already tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Jesper, for being here today.
Hey, all right. I love the
Woo!
intro. Thank you so much. Yes, I am tuning
You're
in from
welcome.
Japan, and it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and I am just ready to go.
That is,
Thank you for
oh,
having
yeah.
me.
Oh, I'm so glad that you can be here because this is a topic that I don't know about. I want to bring on experts so that I too can learn because, my audience just don't want to hear it from me all the time. So thank you for being here and founder of the Neuro Narrative. That is awesome. I think sometimes when we talk to clients differently, it could present a totally different outcome. And can you give us a little bit of your why you do what you do, perhaps?
So if you look at all those charts and I forgot what they're called, but you look at what are your personal traits, what's important to you, and one of the things that always come up first is freedom. Which is perhaps why I keep fleeing continents and countries and cities and going to different places. I don't know. Um, I do what I do because I believe if you have the ability to communicate, if you have the ability to capitalize on your skills, then you can build any business. You can build the kind of life you want based on your skills, based on what you like. So that's really why I do what I do, because it gives you the tools and it gives you the opportunities to really build anything you want. It doesn't really matter if you're going to start a movement, or you have something you're passionate about, or you just want to build a business that supports your lifestyle. And
Mm.
I think what I do enables people to do that, or at least I hope I help with that.
That's
I hope that
beautiful,
makes
and
sense.
I no, it definitely makes sense, and, I always say it's not what you say to someone, it's how you say it. I remember even when I was in high school and college and working, like, local fast food or 7-Eleven, and there's a difference if you say to someone, "Hey, mop the floor," or, "Hey, do you mind doing me a favor? Can you grab a mop?" Right? It's the same point, but if you say it in a different way, it'll lead to a different outcome and less friction.
Yeah.
Now I need to cross that over into my current business, perhaps. And maybe you can help us with that a little more.
I will certainly try.
Nice. And can you give us some pro tips perhaps about, like, sometimes I wonder why somebody does what they do or why they say what they want or how come they want one thing but they do another. And I really can't figure out the human behavior. Can you enlighten us a little more? Because, like, I'll have a client saying, "Oh my God, I need your service ASAP." And then, like, I don't know. I can't figure them out sometimes.
Yeah, that's a common thing, and there's actually one critical component that almost all of us get wrong. When we grow up, we think we base our decisions on logic. in schools. Everything is logical, laid out. However, there's one critical component we don't quite fully understand, or most of us don't quite fully understand. And when I do my presentations, or if I have any training, what I start with showing, I start by showing, and I can't show it now, but imagine a big elephant. On top of that elephant, you have a tiny mouse. Around the neck of the elephant, the mouse is holding like a leash, like he's taken the elephant out for a ride or something like that. Now, I want you to picture the little mouse being your cognitive brain system. Like, that's how big it is. And the elephant is how powerful the subconscious brain system is. Now, I
Ah.
usually take people through some sort of an optical illusion where I show them a checkerboard that two adjacent squares that look like completely different colors, but it's an illusion. And I do a little Photoshop trickery and I show them this is just an illusion. And I say, now with this added knowledge, you should be able to, because you know for a fact, you should be able to go back and realize that it was just an illusion. Of course, it doesn't work.
So this
So
this just yeah, go ahead, sorry.
So basically, this shows you just how much of our behavior is driven subconsciously versus consciously.
Yes, I had no idea because I just thought of the story. I don't know if you heard about the elephant with that little tiny rope around its foot, and it's not going anywhere. Why? Because its subconscious was trained when it was a baby that that little rope would hold it back. So now, even though this elephant is like, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of pounds now, still believes that that little tiny rope is keeping them captive. So I guess that just made me realize how much of what we decide is really from our subconscious and possibly past experiences.
Yeah, no, so totally. So that thing apply, but the thing is that applies. So with that little, by the way, the numbers 40, 50 bits per second, approximately, we can cognitively understand of the world, but 11 million bits per second subconsciously.
Ooh,
So our world is like
wow.
99.9999996% subconsciously driven. So the way we overcome that is that we learn to walk. It's hard at first, but it becomes a subconscious program. We can just run that in the background, like singing or anything like that. But what we don't realize, that every belief we have, all those limiting beliefs we have, oh, this is not possible, this is possible, I am the kind of person who does these kind of things, or I'm the kind of person who holds back in meetings, I'm the kind of person who goes for my dreams, all these things are subconsciously held, and we run them as automatic programs in the background. So we don't get what we do, we get what kind of a person we believe we are at a core level. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, yes, and I just had a new client that, for weight loss, and basically, she didn't have the belief that she could do it because she had always failed, so then she didn't want to try. So our subconscious is also based on all our prior experiences. So a lot of times in my workshops and my 90-day program, I have to start off with mastering your mindset because sometimes that's the
Mhm.
only thing that's holding us back. But now, say as the business owner, how do we get in the minds of our clients? And like, I don't know. Sometimes their actions baffle me at times.
they they do, right? And even my own actions sometimes baffle me, and I know this stuff, and I still do weird things. So it's way more powerful than just the understanding of it. I think people ask me about persuasion. Isn't that just about getting people to do something that you want them to do? That isn't doesn't that's not it at all. What it means is that you understand that you're working with human beings, with fears, with desires, and then whenever you,
Mm.
if from a business perspective, you start by creating a product that actually solves a real problem people have. You don't create
Yes.
a product and try to kind of get people to buy it. You start with the actual person who has a real problem. That is persuasion in itself, because you're actually helping somebody with what they need help with. So that's where it
Yes.
starts.
That's so simple, but yet so profound because I know people trying to sell things that people don't need. Like, I'll have people reach out to me and be like, hey, I can help you lose 20 pounds. I'm like, do I look like I need to lose 20 pounds? So you have to find, and I tell, when I have business partners, I tell them as well, find their problem and just help them solve it. It's so simple. Tell them something they don't need. If they don't need ice cubes and it's snowing out, like, don't sell them ice cubes, sell them heat. And Elizabeth says, hi, this is fascinating topic. And Sandra Doris says, awesome, my friend. Thank you. High five, Sandra. She's a fellow New Yorker and a realtor. So go buy your real estate from her. Awesome. Thank you, Sandra, for tuning in. Wherever you guys are tuning in from, be sure to follow both Jesper Sandell and I, set to get notifications. If you're on YouTube, click that subscribe button. It'll help you see more of us, and it'll help open up our message for more viewers to see it. Let us know it. Yep. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. The YouTube is at Shayna Melissa. Definitely. And what is that? Sign up now. Okay. Well, while we're on the topic, mark your calendars for Thursday, March 7th, 7 p.m. EST. If you haven't already registered, join us for our Power Hour that is live, free, no cost to you. 1 Power Hour, lots of gold nuggets to help you reclaim your life, because we only have one. There's hundreds of hours in every single month. Mark your calendar for this one, August 7th at 7 p.m. EST. Will be live on Zoom to only those registered. You could simply go to worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim and either claim your no cost seat or level up to the VIP experience, where you can also get the 20-page digital and printable workbook, a 60-minute live Q&A, and a mini consultation with me for, oh my God, less than the cost of what I paid for lunch yesterday. Yay! High five! Yay! All right. Well, right back to, since we're in the fun zone, now I know Jasper, your name is pronounced Jesper in other countries as well. So tomato, tomato, I'm not sure which way. But can you give us a fun fact about you? Something that's just fun that most people might not know.
Okay. Yeah. So I was born and raised Stockholm, Sweden. I moved to New York many, many years ago. I met my wife in New York. I had my first child in New York. And when my child, Julia, who's 12 now, was 6 months, we decided, well, we need some more space. So we moved to Los Angeles. And then we had our second child a little later. And then when Leon, who's 9 now, he was 8 months, we decided, well, you know what? Now we should probably be with our family. So we moved from Los Angeles to a little mountain town in Japan, and I've been there ever since.
Wow, 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 wow. That's awesome. And our Shayna show, like a week ago, I filmed it from Fort Lauderdale, from Florida, and then I brought this
Yeah.
shirt back that says New York.
Hey, there you
And now
go, New
you're in
York.
Japan. Yeah. Fellow New Yorkers.
Yay.
Woohoo, high five. And then we've also had guests on the Shayna show from Hong Kong. Shelly in Hong Kong, shout out to you. Canada, Australia. Some of the co-authors in my book, Overcoming Life Obstacle, are from Australia and Canada and US. And then I've had a guest on the Shayna show that's now in Dominican Republic, and another in Grenada. And I don't know, I'm sure I'm leaving people off. So sorry about that. So this is truly like a worldly experience. And who knows where we'll be tuning in from next week on the Shayna show. And can you share with us 3 pro tips? Now, I
Mhm.
like that we have to get in the minds of our clients a little more. I think we do have to have more empathy, not sympathy where we're being sad for them, but empathy, and try to understand where they're coming from, what their past experience is, so that we can better relate to them. Jesper, can you give us 3 pro tips maybe on how we can better communicate with our clients and help understanding? Oh no.
Yes. So I want to give you one that I think is the foundation of everything. It's and the biggest misunderstanding, and it can be
Okay.
summed up with one simple sentence, 6 words. If I say the word, the sentence, I love the food in Paris, right? I love the food in Paris, and then you try to say that sentence backwards. If you try to say that
Okay.
backwards, I love the food in Paris.
I love the food in Paris. Paris, the food. No, yeah, not so good.
So the point here is that whenever you communicate, whether that's on a sales call, whether that's in a meeting, whether that's on in print or a sales letter, is you're never communicating anything abstract, because we cannot understand it abstract. When I say Paris and I say food, you might start thinking about garlic, red wine, perhaps. I do. The Eiffel Tower, maybe walking hand in hand with your new love on a romantic adventure, whatever it is. But it brings up visions. You start smelling, you start hearing different things, like it, dun, da, 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 dun, whatever you hear. So, but it's sensory activating, so we can feel it, see it, and hear it. If you go through the most common, say, corporate letter, or most people's communication, you'll see abstraction after abstraction after abstraction after abstraction. We cannot act if we cannot see it, if we cannot hear it, if we cannot smell it. So the pro tip number one here: go through every single thing that you write and see, if I had a video camera, would I be able to see this, or is this just an abstraction? If it is an abstraction, it will move no needle whatsoever. It's almost impossible. Make sense?
Gosh, yes. So basically, you have to have them envision with their five senses the outcome that they're going to get. And that
Yeah.
might be a little harder for me as a wellness professional, because I don't know if they could smell feeling better. I don't know.
No, that's true, but you have to paint a picture of what the future will look like. So you say, if you say
Yes.
you're gonna lose weight, okay, well, what does that mean? Well, you're gonna say you're gonna be able to fit into those little tiny blue pants you wore 20 years ago with a pink top when you first met your husband. You're gonna look in the mirror and say, "Oh my gosh, I look so good and I feel 20 years younger." You got to do something like that. Hi, Krista.
We want to give a big, yeah. Hey, Krista. We actually just had a meeting right before this, and I'm only sharing because she clearly posted it all over Facebook. Sharing with permission, I guess. Hey, Krista. Krista or Sandra or Elizabeth, do you guys have any special questions for our that word that I can't even say, expert? Neurolinguingal. What is going on here? And it's linguistics and language, and that's the one word I cannot say, and that's not even ironic. That's just plain old funny, and we're not cutting that out. We're leaving it in because people love when we're raw and honest and unfiltered. Krista says, "Hi, no, just learning." And what, Jesper? What one tip would you love to have been told as your much younger self? If you can look back on your much self and about neurolinguistics,
Mhm.
what is the best one tip you would like to have given your younger self or your younger self having had?
I think this might be the one, is that we we fight for our own limitations all the time. I do. Everybody does it on some level, some on a different level, some on a more severe level. But if you fundamentally shift, realizing you don't get what you want, you don't get what you do, rather you get who you are. So if my identity is the kind of person who is brave, if my identity is the kind of person who goes for it, if my kind of identity is the one who always speaks out against violence, whatever it might be, then you will do those things. So it doesn't start with the actions. It starts with, okay, if I
Oh,
want to become, if I want to get this, how do I become the kind of person who automatically makes these decisions? Like, what do I have to value? What do I have to continuously program myself to be, so that I ultimately become that person? Because we always do everything automatically. Right? We do the fallback, our fallback behaviors. So how can I create fallback behaviors that support what I want? That I wish I'd known that way. So
nice. And that is awesome advice. And Elizabeth just said you attract who you are. And it's true. And
Mm.
I think that story of misery loves company. So maybe we all have to give ourselves positive affirmations, or say, instead of, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, like maybe turn that negative into a positive affirmation, and maybe leave stickies on our mirrors and whatnot, and repeat it so many times to say what we want to become, so then we become that. Is that right?
Yes, but I would probably argue that you have to take it one step a little further. You have to go deeper than that. I mean, if you look at the brain, we operate in brain waves. So that, for example, right when you're about to wake up in the morning, or when you wake up in the morning, you're in what we call theta waves. You are more suggestive to changing at a core level. Or right when you go to bed at night. That's also the same as when people go into hypnosis. So you just telling yourself when you're hyperactive might you might just say, but I don't have these things. Oh, I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm a
Mm.
millionaire. But then you might say, well, I'm not a millionaire. I'm lying to myself. So how do we get around that? How do we perhaps go a little deeper, where we program, say, how do I start doing the kind of things? How do I start believing what a millionaire believes? And then we program ourselves when we're in the theta state. That could be hypnosis. That could be that you listen to yourself when you're about to go to sleep, for example. But generally, you want to go a little deeper than just affirmations, in my opinion.
So would
Does
it
that make sense?
be no, no, definitely makes sense, because you
Yeah.
you can't just have the thoughts, you need the actions behind it. So would it be safe to say then, maybe instead of just an affirmation, to say I will be blank by blank. I will be a whatever, have income of $1 million per year by this date. Because then you're not lying to yourself, you're actually
Mhm.
setting a goal, and then have to discover the short-term action steps you need to
Yeah.
reach that goal. And Krista just said she needs to reprogram. A lot of us do. It's so true.
Yeah.
What we believe. And I give two recent examples. I don't know if you heard of Roger Bannister and the 4 Minute Mile story in 1954.
Mhm.
Have you heard of that? Okay. So
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
before Roger Bannister, I think it was 1954, no one ever ran a mile in under 4 minutes. He was told, don't do it, by his doctors. His heart's going to explode, whatever. After he ran the 4 minute mile, within the next 2 months, so many people, dozens and dozens of people, ran a 4 minute mile. Why? Because they saw somebody else do it. And then they had the belief that it was possible, and the belief that they too can do it. So sometimes we
Yeah.
only need to change our mindset to change our outcome. Craziness, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what pro tip would you give the business professional that, say one of our clients says, I don't know, I don't have the money. And that's just a reason in their head to not move forward, even though they want to move forward and they have the money and the price points realistic. But sometimes I know they come up, no time, no money, and they're not real objections. There's something deeper. How do you get to
Mhm.
that deeper, real objection? Because sometimes you'll hear people say, I'm so busy, I have no time. But yet you find they watch 3 hours of TV a day. So, how do we get to the root cause to help them out when they have a facade up of the reasoning why?
I think it starts before you get to the objective. So if you really want to help somebody change their lives, if you're on what we call, a sales call, for example, it doesn't really start with you telling about the program. It doesn't start with you, you know, selling the program. It really starts with trying to understand, is this a person I can actually help? So you
Mm.
have to start with, like, what are the actual problems? What have you tried? What are those problems costing you? What have you tried past that didn't work? Why is this important to do now? So you're gonna realize that if you try to sell somebody and you haven't even asked why they need it, then you're just gonna
Yes.
be a sales. But if you say, look,
Yes.
based on what you said, I believe I can help you because I've helped people in similar situations like you. The choice is yours, but I believe there's a clear path where you can have a much better life. Or you'll be happier, whatever the outcome is. But it starts with understanding that you never tell somebody to do something. You listen to them, understand the situation, and say, look, I understand this. There's another path for you. That
Yes.
so it always comes back to understanding what drives people. Like there could be 10 different reasons why somebody needs a certain program, for example, or why they need to get healthy,
Yes.
but you need to find what's important to them, and then you say
Yes.
yes.
See that exactly, and that's what I love. And when I did a lot of sales in the past, I would tell my people, you have to find out what their problem is and the solution, but not like, hey, I sell this. Do you want it? Because I have people reaching out to me, like I said, hey, I help people lose weight. You want to join my whatever? And I'm like, no. So just find out what their problem is and have a solution for it. And if they don't have a need for your thing, don't try to sell it to them. Like, right? Is it not that simple? Right? If it's like, I don't know, we're living in a desert and you're selling heat, like, no, they don't want heat. Don't sell them heat in the desert, sell them ice. If more people would listen actively with different world, it would be, yes, we need to, Elizabeth is right. We need to listen more to what their problem is, their needs are, and focus on their needs and their desires, not what we're looking to sell. That is such a
Mhm.
valid point. Um, and I do understand for our viewers that you have a little gift for them. And maybe if they drop down secrets, or maybe you can tell us a little bit about the gift you have for the viewers, and we can flash your link, how they can get it. And if you want more pro tips from our expert, Jesper, also drop down below secrets and go to this link right here, jespersandell.com secrets. Can you tell us a little bit about this gift for the viewers?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So basically, it's I work with a lot of people, and what I see people struggle with the most is the fundamental shift in starting to understand is how people actually perceive the world, so that you can speak to them in a way that it's easy for them to understand. Um, and you can and so say, for example, part of this is the communication. How can you actually start using language and communication so it directly aligns with how they're already seeing the world? Let me give you an example. For example, you can whole 10 hours at work, come back home, be super tired, but then you can still pop in a movie and watch a 2-hour movie, and you're just reborn again, nothing tough at all. Versus somebody gives you like this, like a contract to sign, like 20 pages, tiny text. And it might take you 2 hours to read through, but it's two completely different experiences, right? When you give them the movie experience, you present it the way that they enjoy consuming it. They will definitely read your stuff more. They will definitely listen to you much more. Um, so that's really what this guide is about. How do you give it in such a way that people actually want to consume it?
Nice. That is awesome. So if you want Jesper's 3 brain-based communication secrets that cut through the online noise and sell for you, then definitely go to jespersandell.com/secrets now and download your free downloadable. That is awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I definitely have to do that. I have not done that yet. But it's true, because there's so much online noise and people get
Right.
easily distracted and bombarded. So we need our message to get through past all of those pop-ups and ads, and yes, yes, yes. And help it sell for us. That would be good.
I mean, that's the power, because if you start with a person understanding this is what they saw, this is the problem they're having. If that aligns with your expertise, you can actually help them. Then the whole selling process isn't selling anymore. It's just showing them that there's a path out of their pain into a much better future. So all your marketing is really to highlight the bridge where the place where they are, the possible future, and the bridge is very doable for them. So marketing doesn't become selling anymore. It's just, here are the highlights, here are the facts on what's possible. if you take action.
I love, love, love that. And thank you for enlightening me because I think now I feel better because I don't like selling things. I just find those problems and I have a solution for them that works. And then see, like Jesper says, if we're a good fit. So listen to your clients, listen to their problem, their needs, their wants, see if you can solve their problem for them. And I guess just listen to them, right? And give them what they want, so to speak.
Yeah. No, that's not,
Yeah.
it's we don't have to overcomplicate it. If you can help somebody in need, how is that bad? It's
Yes.
somebody's hungry, you open a restaurant, you give them food. Is that bad? No, I don't think so. I think it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so those are good points. Listen to them, find their problems, see if you have the solution for it, see if you guys are a good fit. Because people reach out to me and sometimes it's not a good fit for me. I'm like, listen, if you're not willing or you're not coachable or you're not open minded, like, I don't think this is going to
Yeah.
work. So I don't
Yeah.
want, and it's okay if you guys with your business, you decline clients. That's okay too. They're not always a good fit for you. And right there across the screen, that was worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. So please, guys, if you haven't already, marked your calendar for our workshop coming up August 7th at 7 p.m. EST for 1 power hour. Out of the hundreds next month, you are worthy, you are deserving of at least this 1 hour to treat yourself as good as your bestie. It is no you. Or if you don't want the freebie and you want to level up to the VIP experience, same website, worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. Claim your free or VIP seat now for the power hour. I am limiting the number of seats for the free and the VIP. Only those registered will have access, not even those in the private group. And so worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. I'm going to squeeze 30 years of my knowledge into like 60 minutes. Some of the gold nuggets they can walk away with. And I hope that'll help you guys. I just want to say this because people on here might not know my story, but I had all these autoimmune problems and I was in all these pain and suffering and fatigue and weight gain. And I didn't want to do what the doctors did to the patients because I didn't want those results. So I did things totally differently. And now I have no more of those symptoms, no more flare ups in years, and I take no medications. And I want to show other people how to do that. So if they're getting blown off by your doctor, they're telling you everything's normal, your tests are okay, you're just getting older, you're doing too much. Listen to your body. Your body knows better than some doctor that met you once for 5 minutes. Listen to your intuition. It's usually never wrong. Come check out the workshop. You have nothing to lose. Let it open your eyes to see if there's a way that we can work together. And I want to thank you, Jesper and Jasper and Jesper, like, for being here today, being our expert all the way from Japan. Thank you to the viewers for tuning in. Again, click the like, comment, heart, subscribe, follow us both. Jesper or Jesper Sandell. He's on LinkedIn, Facebook. His website is jespersandell.com, I believe, correct?
Correct.
And
Yeah.
if you click the Jesper Sandell .com/secrets, you will get his downloadable top 3 secrets right there. Look at that. That is beautiful. I love that. That is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So go to jespersandell.com/secrets, claim his downloadable. And I want to thank you, the viewers, for tuning in, subscribing, and thank you for being here, for your expert words, for taking the time out of your busy lifestyle. And again, get his downloadable for free at jespersandell.com/secrets, and get my workshop at no cost also at worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. And we'll see you guys same place next week. Be well.
If you enjoyed your fight with us this afternoon, and we'll join us again sometime in the future.
Finding the strength deep inside. Shayna Melissa takes us on this ride from suffering to a life so free. Her healing touch, she'll set you free with a heart so pure